y'all doing so far? Everybody good? Good. I am so excited about this weekend, y'all. Y'all just don't understand. Y'all gonna hear my accent. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. So y'all gonna hear that accent that comes out or whatever. But I am really excited about this weekend. I never been to a women's conference. So never. I've always wanted to go, but of course always finances and everything got in the way. But I am just so grateful to God that Cynthia saw something in me. I mean, because like she said, my husband was speaking at an event. But why would she saw something in me to say, okay, well, what do you do? And I'm like, well, what made you think, well, I do something? And she's like, you have to do something. You can't be looking this good. And you're like, And so I explained to her what I do. I am a spokesmodel for Siobhan Dorsey. She's a plus-size designer. She was based in Chicago. She's now here in Dallas. And Siobhan Dorsey. Okay. Yes, ma'am. And I travel with her. We do trunk shows. We do some here in Dallas. Next weekend, I'll be going to Chicago. And we have a big trunk show out there. And she showcased her new designs. I'm modeling her designs in the show and things of that nature. So that's what I do with her. I'm all over her website. And also, I have stepped out on faith, and I'm now a makeup artist. I have been doing, thank you. I've been doing my own makeup forever, but my husband was the one really gave me that push. I had fear that, okay, I was going to get people saying, well, okay, you model, you need to stay in your lane. Why are you coming on this side? You stay where you're at. But I said, you know what, I'm going to do it. Because he kept telling me about it, and I kept saying, you know what, I'm not going to even do it because I'm afraid if I go and talk to other makeup artists, they're going to be like, well, why are you doing this and that and the other? But I just thank God for the people that he has put in my path. Because every makeup artist that I have spoken with, they've given me words of encouragement. No one never told me, okay, I don't think you should be doing this. You should, continue with your modeling and things of that nature. And I'm just so grateful to God that he has expanded territory. I have only been doing clients for maybe about 4 to 5 months now. And he has taken me to higher and higher heights. I'm getting ready to launch my website. I'm coming out with my own lipstick line. It's getting ready to come out. So, I mean, it's just things that's just gradually moving, and I am just so thankful for it. And it goes to show you, soon as you say yes, that's all he wants is a yes. And as soon as I opened up my mouth and I say, Lord, I'm going to give this to you. This is your ministry. My motto is, God has already made all of us beautiful. And makeup doesn't define you, but makeup only enhances. All I'm doing is just enhancing what God has already given you. That's it. And I always teach that to my young girls too, because they think you have to put on tons and tons of makeup because I want to look like this and I want to look like that. But makeup doesn't define who you are. It's fun. It's like an accessory, just like jewelry. That's what makeup is. So I try to teach that everywhere I go. And also too, Cynthia saw my weight loss transformation journey per se on YouTube. And what I've done is that I was 332 pounds almost 9 years ago. I've lost a total of over 150 pounds. Thank you. My story is I decided to have gastric bypass surgery. And the reason why I had gastric bypass surgery because I was so-called he mentioned to me that I was a poster child for the surgery. I had high blood pressure and diabetes. Some people nowadays having a surgery just because they want to look good and, not even health reasons, but I had serious health issues. And to say that, I had a child 27 weeks early. My son was 1 pound and 14 ounces at birth. And they gave him a 75% chance to live. This is what made me make the decision as to have the gastric bypass surgery. I've always dealt with weight. I've always had issues with weight. I tried everything, you name it, I tried it. Even tried to exercise, so, here or there, but I hated exercising. Oh my God, I hated exercising. And so I decided, I said, well, you know what, Lord? I said, if you allow me to have this surgery, I want to be able to be a person to where I don't push the surgery on anybody, because not by no means. I say, okay, this is what you need to go and do. But for me to say that I can be healthy, because the surgery is only a tool. It is not the end-all or be-all, for anything. It's not. It is only a tool, because like I said, I am 9 years in. I know a lot of women that it's like 9 years, and they've gained their weight back and then some, that have had the surgery. But it's a mind thing. You have to change your mind. And that's what I had to start believing in who I was, because once I lost all of the weight, I still felt like that 332-pound woman. So it's a mental thing, and then I could have very well went on back into start eating and doing all the things of that nature. But I just thank God he has me to where I am today. Once I lost the weight, I still had issues with myself, with my confidence, even though, a lot of people think, well, I lose the weight and you start looking good and you're liking your curves and all this and all that. But then there's something on the inside, because you know how we as ladies, we know how to put a good picture on the outside, but the inside all jacked up and messed up, So that's the issue that I had with myself. I had to learn how to start finding my self-worth, who I am, and love who I am, regardless of if I was 332 pounds, if I was 190, or whatever. I had to start loving me for who I am. And so this is when I really started getting more closer to God. And I started saying, Lord, I want to do something for you that's something that I've never done before. Put it to you like that. Something I've never done before. I never actually given my all to God and throw myself all the way into something and actually stuck with it. Never did that. So this time I said, Lord, and every now and then, you'll go back, because I have gained a couple pounds here or there, but I'm never going back to 332 pounds. I believe that, because it was a health risk for me. I cannot afford to go back because it's a health issues for me. So once I decided to say, God, I've given it my all, I've given it to you, I started noticing he started changing things in my life. He started changing the way I think. He started changing the way my outcome and my look of myself and just the things around me. He started having me to exercise. I didn't like to exercise because I figured, okay, well, if I just eat right, then I could work it. I'm good. But no, you have to move. And what I started to do was, just in the beginning, only thing I pretty much started to do was just started walking. I mean, if it was just walking from the corner to the next, at least I did something. It's always a start. You don't have to get a full gym membership and say, okay, I'm going to 24-hour fitness and I'm going to, do 3 months. I mean, it's too much. It could be overwhelming for a person who's just starting out. I mean, all you have to do is just get up and walk. If you go walk your dog or, something like that, something very simple, but just do something. Keep that body moving, keep the blood circulating and things of that nature. So that's exactly what I've done. Needless to say, my son is healthy. He's 10 years old now. He is a miracle baby. We call him that all the time. He only had to stay in the hospital for 3 months. He didn't have any major issues. I thank God for that. No major issues at all. And that was, like I said, when I made my decision to say, you know what, I'm going to change my life. I want to take my life back, because I believe that the enemy was doing everything that he can to keep me in that little rut. The same pretty much what he tried to do with the makeup, because as soon as I said yes to God, everything, like I said, started just flourishing. So I didn't want him to keep me in that box anymore. So that's it, ladies. That's my story. And I am here today. Modeling has saved my life. Because I had the confidence issue. So I did like I tell everybody, I faked it till I made it. I really did. I got out there, I walked on the runway, because I always had a fear of people looking at me. I had a huge fear of that, because I'm like, okay, well, why is she looking at me like that? I got something on me, and you know how we as women, we get like, what's she looking at me like that for? And I still get like that from time to time, and and I'm like, okay, I gotta snap out of it, so, but I still have some issues every now and then about my confidence, but I know exactly where I need to go right to the Word, and I just thank God for that and for just to turn me back around, because I remember at one point when I started having those confidence issues and people in my ear telling me, well, you're this. I mean, family members. I had family members telling me, well, if you lose weight, girl, the boys will want you, and this, and any other, and I'm like, well, why they don't want me now? What's wrong with me now? And so I had to deal with that. So I started believing that. I started believing what they were telling me, knowing that, in my heart, I felt like I wasn't. But because people kept saying it over and over, you start believing that kind of stuff. So like I said, I got closer to God, and I say, Lord, I need you to change me. I need you to change the way that I think, because I don't want to live like this no more. And my prayer was for me to bless others. Let me be that poster child for you, Lord, to where I can let other people know that it works. Prayer, and prayer works. I pray every time before I work out, because I don't like doing it. I'm tired. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I work about 10 hours a day, and have to go home. I'm tired when I get home. I don't even go to the gym. I do my own DVD at home because I don't have time. and then on the weekend I'm doing my makeup. So I'm always, ripping and running, but I have to, my health is very important to me. I want to live. I want to see my child graduate. He fought to be here. So mama have to fight to stay here, so he's my motivation, So that's it, ladies, about my story. I appreciate you all listening to me. Now, if anyone wants to come up and be my little makeup model, come on. And what I'm going to do, ladies, is just pretty much show you the basic makeup application. What we do as a makeup artist to kind of give you that, I'm not going to go too pro in there with you, for a pro makeup artist, but just something simple from a day-to-day. You wake up in the morning, because I know I don't have to, I don't look like this every morning. No, ma'am. It's too much time, But just a simple, basic makeup application so you won't go to work, looking just raw-faced. At least, especially I work in corporate. And so with working with corporate, at least you want to try to look like something. Just put a little something on, So I'm going to just show you the basic makeup application. And then I've also passed out some handouts. And these handouts are just to tell you pretty much like the basic brushes that you would need. Some people may use just one brush, and some people may use two brushes, but each brush does something. And that's the key. A lot of people say, well, I can't put makeup on because I don't know how to draw. I don't know how to draw either. But you don't have to be a drawer, a person that knows how to draw. It's all in the brush. And I tell people that all the time. It's your brush. Your brush is going to do everything for you. You just have to know how to use the brush. That's the thing. A lot of people don't teach a person. When you go to MAC and all those other, the drugstore or whatever, you don't have anybody actually telling you, okay, well, you need to use this type of brush to apply this type of foundation or this type of eyeshadow. And to get that blending look, you need to use this type of brush. Some of them don't tell you that. They just try to get you to buy the product and just you on your own. You know what I'm saying? They'll show you pretty much when you're in there, but by the time you get home, you even forgot what happened and forgot what they said, because that happened to me, when I started learning how to do makeup. So I'm going to show you the basic brushes that I use just to get my morning makeup, like for me to go to work. Normally what I like to use first is I always put a base. And this is by Urban Decay. You could get any kind of makeup base. It's a primer. And what the primer does is it helps the foundation or the powder that you'll put on, it helps it adhere to it. It helps it stick on your face so you won't look sweaty. It won't look like your makeup is running or dripping, because we have oily skin. I have oily skin. And so it will help to where it'll just stay on your face. It'll be just like a nice coat or base on your face. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on her. First, let me put this around you so I won't mess up and get nothing on you. And with this here, you really don't need that much. It's just very little, because a very little goes a long, long way. And you can just use your fingers to rub it in, or you can use a brush to rub it in. And like I said, it's just very little. Only thing you need is just something just it'll help with the oils. It's going to make your skin matte. It's going to get like a white film, but it will go away. This is called Urban Decay Pore Perfecting Primer Potion. And usually what I like to do is I like to start with the eyes first. And the reason why I start with eyes first, some makeup artists, they start with foundation first. But if I don't, to me, is if you start with foundation first, you'll, if you start doing your eyeshadow and eyeshadow start falling, it's going to mess up your foundation. I mean, you'll have to wipe it all off again, or just where the area, where the eyeshadow fell. And then pretty much, it's just more work. And we try to do less work as possible. So definitely always start with the eyes first. And the first brush that I like to do when I start with the eyes, it's called the shader brush. It's a shader brush. It's a brush that has a little chisel tip on it. And what this does is you go into a windshield wiper motion when you use it. And like I said, I always start with also too, when you're doing your eyeshadow, if you want to do more than one color, because a lot of ladies, they'll just take one color and just put it over their whole eye. I see that a lot. No blending, nothing. Just take the whole eyeshadow and just stick it on there and just, okay, it's there. But usually, you always, another thing too, what you can do is do your eyebrows. I always will start off with eyebrows. For instance, if you don't have any, if you don't feel like even wearing makeup any day, always make sure your eyebrows are done. Let me show you how to do the eyebrows. I use a pencil by MAC. It's called Spike. It's a color by MAC. And it's Spike is the name of the color. But it's an eyebrow pencil. And some women use concealer to kind of clean it up and to make it look really sharp, make it look really precise. Me personally, I don't like the paint on kind of eyebrow look. I like natural looking brows. Some women may not have any brows at all. And what I normally do is whatever little hairs they may have, I just go along the hair and just still make it look natural as possible. I try not to draw like a, like a circle or something like a semicircle. You don't draw on your face. What you do is you just use the brush and you go sideways, just coloring it in. And I'm going to show you here. I don't know if y'all can see me. Let's turn your face this way here. And see how I'm taking it here, and it's up. And I'm just taking it and going like this here. Now her eyebrows, she already have, like I said, she has hair. So all I'm doing is going with along her hairline of her brow, and just keep going out. Now sometimes what I like to do is I like to extend the end of it, because most of us ladies, we don't have the end point to our brow, because I know I don't have that much hair on my brow. So normally what I do is I just go ahead and kind of extend it just a little bit. I make sure I always do my brows in the morning. Now if you can see from where you all are sitting, you can see one side is a little darker than the other side. And all I did pretty much is just shade it in. I didn't draw or anything like that, just kind of shade it in just a little bit. And then from here, what I normally would do is I would take a concealer. I like to use LA Girl Pro Conceal. You can go to your local beauty store and buy this. It's like $2 or $2.99 or something like that. And this is a really good concealer. And what concealer does is it kind of highlights. And so what it'll do is when I use a concealer on her brow, it's going to shape her brow. And it's going to give me that shape that I'm looking for her eyebrow. So like for instance, a good concealer will help, like if you're in between waxing, of your eyebrows. You can use a concealer to kind of clean up underneath your eyebrow to where you won't even actually see the hairs, because the concealer is going to cover all of that. It's going to make it all one color pretty much. So you always want to use a concealer at least like maybe 2 shades or a couple shades lighter than your skin. So the concealer that I'm going to use on her is Fawn. And it's going to look kind of crazy when I first put it on, so don't be alarmed, because usually when people say, oh, Lord, that's not the right color for it. But you're going to see, as I blend it in, you're going to see how everything is going to all come together, because this is usually the scary part. Most of my clients are like, oh, wait a minute. I also always tell them, don't look yet. Don't look. And what I like about this, they give you a brush already on it. So all you just do is pretty much go at the top of your line of where you started your eyebrow. You don't go on your eyebrow. It's just at the top. And I'm also do underneath as well here too. But I normally like to start at the top. And then what I do is I take my flathead brush. It looks like a little paintbrush. And you take this brush. This is going to help blend that out, so you won't have just that line, as you can see, like I just drew it on her face. So what I do is take the flat brush and I just kind of buff it out. Because the key in makeup is you don't want to see no lines. No lines at all. Now, like I said, this is a highlight, so that's why it's not her exact same color. But once I put her foundation on and everything, it's going to all blend in together. And so then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go underneath her brow. But before I do that, I like to put on another primer. Primers are always good. This would help, like I said, make the eyeshadow stick to your eye bed. And this is another primer by Urban Decay, but this is for eyeshadow. So this is an eyeshadow primer. And like I said, I like to put this on there because usually it helps adhere the shadow to the eye. And also it makes it vibrant. It makes the color, that you're putting on your on your eyes, to be more bold. A lot of people like the pigmented because I love pigmented color. And pigmented means that it has more color to it. Just what you see in the pot of the of the eyeshadow, that's the color you're going to get when you put it on your brush. And this is just very little you need to put on there. Like I said, and this is what I do in the morning. I always make sure I put my primers on. That's key, because I want my makeup to last all day. I don't want to have to keep going, touching up, maybe only to kind of blot, you know, because of the oil. That's about it. You don't want to have to go back in and bring your makeup with you and have to powder your face all over again. You don't have to do that. If once you put a good primer on, you wouldn't have to go back and keep repowdering, you know, because your makeup has come off, because that's why you have a primer, because a primer helps it stick all together. And so I take the same concealer and I go right underneath her brow bone. And then what I do pretty much after here is I just blend it in. And that's just to make the brow really precise. And that's just to kind of highlight underneath her brow. And so once you have your eyebrows pretty much done, now you can go ahead on and start with your eyeshadow. And then so for something really simple, you will go with, like I said, your shader brush. And then normally what I like to do is start off, it all depends, and it's called a transition color. And you always stay in the brown family. It all depends. Some makeup artists may use different colors for a transition color. But I like to stick with either a light brown or like a reddish kind of brown. It all depends. And whenever I'm doing my makeup, that's the transition, because when you want to transition from light to dark, that's usually how you do it. And that's what will give that look. If you want to get more fancy with it, you can do it vice versa, you know. But if you want to do something simple, we want to play everything down because we are going to work. We're going to start from our browns because we want something neutral, something soft. And so we'll go with the brown, with the lighter shade of brown. And with this here, you usually start like right underneath where you put your concealer, and you take the shader brush and you just go back and forth like a windshield wiper motion. And this is, like I said, your brush is going to do everything for you. All you're doing is this, just back and forth. And then what I normally would do, if I want to add to it, and this brush here will even, it'll blend the colors together, because right now I put on two different colors. One at the top and one like right underneath it. And I start like in her crease area. This area here is called the crease. And sometimes you don't have to go all the way over with that particular second color. You can start right here in that crease area. And you can just go, you can do the windshield wiper motion too, or if not, when you start with your second color, you can start blending it. You can start doing little bitty small circles. And then I'm always using different palettes because I like to use different ones. And it doesn't matter, whatever you like, whatever palette you like. And then too, if you don't want, you can also use your foundation, your powder foundation, as your next color. If you don't feel like putting on a shiny color, or for work, if you don't want to you want to just have a matte look, you can just use your foundation, because that's what I do half of the time. I'll put my transition color on, and then I'll just put my foundation on my eyelids, and I'm gone. That's it. You put my powder on, a little lip gloss, and I'm out the door. You don't want anything too much, because it just takes too much time. So, but with her, I'm going to use, it's called Half Baked. It's just a color by Urban, this is Urban Decay on their Naked 2 palette. And you can still, like I said, use this one brush and do everything. Some people, and especially if you want to just keep it simple. Also, if you want to just pat, you want to make sure, if you want to just, instead of blending this particular color and pat it, you're going to use, this is another flathead brush. And all this does is only apply the makeup on. Just a little small flat head, and this just to put it on there if you want to do it that way. Or to be more advanced with it, I just use the shader brush, and I can just apply it on there as well. And I'm not going to get into the lashes and all that other stuff because that's a little bit more intense with it, but this is just something very, very simple that you can do in the morning. And then, like I said, if you can look closer to her face, she has fallout. And like I said, that's from the shadow. Some eyeshadows fall out a lot, some of them don't. And the fallout will be right up in this area. So normally what I would do is just take a makeup wipe and wipe it off. But if you would have had your foundation on, you would have had to wipe all of the foundation on, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I always start with the eyes first. And then once after I finish doing the eye, then I would go ahead with my mascara. And it doesn't matter with mascara. I just like to use Great Lash by Maybelline. Nice mascara. It's just something simple. And when I put mascara on, I normally just, some people kind of curl their lashes or whatever, because sometimes their lashes are not curly, but it's not necessary, but if you want to, you can. And then after I finish the eye and everything, I'm just going to do one side of her eyes because I don't want to take up too much time because makeup can be very time consuming. But after it's over, I'm going to finish the rest of your face. I don't want you to, you're not going to be going with this one face. When we go downstairs, I'm going to take care of you. All right. I got you. Because I'm going to wipe all this off and we're going to get all the way glam. Okay. But I just want to kind of show, just the basic, because y'all like, okay, so invest. I'm just really just trying to give y'all an idea of how you can do it and to make it less time consuming in the morning. And from there, foundation is foundation. You can either use liquid or you can use powder. Most of the time when I'm doing my foundations, I normally like to use, because it all depends. If you're oily, are you oily? Is your face so you would go with a powder. You don't use liquid unless you're dry. And I'm bad at that because I like to use liquid and I have oily skin. But I just like the way that, I don't know, it's just something about that liquid foundation. Yeah. It just gives me that beat look. You know what I mean? Like your face is just flawless, So I like to do that, and then I like to set my foundation with this amazing product, because it's all about product, guys. When putting on makeup, it's all about product. And this is called Ben Nye Luxury Powder, and this is in the banana color. And this is how you set your foundation. Some women, I know back in the day, my aunt, every time I would hug her, her foundation would always come on my clothes. And I'm like, why is that? That's because she never set it. She would just put it on, and it would just be wet on her face. And I would always wonder why she would always have a compact or her foundation and always having to reapply, and that's because she never set it. This will help it become like a powder. Once you put your liquid foundation on, and then you put this on top, because this is a powder, and once you put this on top and kind of press that all into your face with the foundation, it'll become like a regular powder. So it wouldn't be, and when you hug someone, you wouldn't get that transfer, because you set it with something. And a lot of people don't set their foundations when they wear them. But with this here, with Studio Fix with MAC, it's a mixture of a powder and foundation, so you don't have to worry about setting it with anything. Usually when I use it, I like to do a finishing type of powder, and I use NYX. It's a photo finish, NYX by NYX. It's a finishing powder. And I like to do that after I finish all of my makeup and put all my foundation on, everything I need. I use this as a white powder, as a translucent powder, and I like to put this on, and it kind of marries everything together. It puts everything on and marries it together. To me, it's all about product. Once you have good product, and how I normally find my products is I watch YouTube a lot. And most of the ladies on YouTube, it's like, okay, either you try it or you're not. I'm a product junkie, so and I guess that's the artistry of it all, because you need to try it in order to find out, what works for you, What I'm going to use on her, I believe her color is NW45. So that's what, and this is what MAC. MAC, NW stands for neutral warm. A lot of people don't know what the NC stand for, what the C stand for. I had to learn myself. And NC is neutral cool. And it all depends on the color tones in your skin. And this is how you match up what your foundation is. And that's how normally what it goes. So this is a foundation brush. I'll talk about that up in there as well too. And it's a chiseled brush. You can use this as a foundation and just to put, the powder on. And like I said, I'm gonna do one side of her face since I started on this side, just to show you how it'll look putting the foundation on. Normally what I do is I go more in depth with it because I will put the same highlighter that I put up here, I'll put underneath her eye as well. And I like to do that because it'll make you look like you're not sleepy and tired in the morning. So you use that highlighter to make those eyes pop, So you have that fall out of it and remove it. That's the only thing I don't like about Urban Decay, their line. It falls, the eyeshadow. It gets on everything. But it's good eyeshadow though. But it always getting on something. And then with the powder, I noticed it's buildable. So you can continue to keep putting more on, or you can put as less as possible. It's up to you how you like to wear your powder. Some ladies like to look where it doesn't look like you have any makeup on. It's like, I guess they call it that mineral type of makeup, that it looks like skin. Or some ladies just kind of like to, have it not thick, but just enough to say, okay, at least I'm wearing makeup. I'm one of those ladies. I want you to know I got makeup on because I don't like the skin looking kind of, that's just me, my own personal preference. But I just like that beat face look that your makeup is like, oh my God, and like, wow. I just like the wow factor. And that's just, I've always been like that with putting on makeup. I'm like, if I'm gonna wear makeup, I'm gonna wear it. And this part up here, guys, but remember what we did with this shadow up here. I'm gonna let you show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put your hair back just a little bit. Okay. I don't wanna get none on it. I go over it with the shadow, with the foundation. And all you see now, if you look at the side of her face, you don't see that bold, you know what I'm saying, that it was just sticking out. It kind of all, blends in now because you use a lot, because it's a highlighter. And so all I'm doing is just highlighting her brow so you can see that, okay, her eyebrows are clean. They're clean the way that I did them. And that's pretty much it. You're just highlighting the areas that you want to accentuate pretty much. And like I said, I'm just going to do only one side of her face since I just did this one side. And like I said, you can just continue to keep going. It all depends on how much, foundation that you want. And now you can see the difference from this side of her face to this side of her face. This side looks very, very smooth and very flawless looking. And then this side looks like, okay, she got something on there. She just, base or whatever. But I just really wanted you all to see how you can do your eyebrows, because I know that's the biggest thing now. A lot of ladies want to get more into doing their brows and things of that nature, and you see how these girls pretty much look like they tattoo them on there. Pretty much, the way they have them painted on there like that. But if you want that natural look, it's very easy. Just take like I said, a pencil. Or you can even use an eyeshadow. Sometimes, like for instance, when I ran out of the MAC, because them things cost like about $14, $15. $16. Yes. So when I run out of that, I will go to a brown eyeshadow. And you never use black. Never use black. Always use like a dark brown, And all you do is just shade it in with the, and you can use this brush too. It's an angled brush. And this helps out so much with doing your eyebrow. It goes on a slant, and it's an angle brush. And you just take that, you dip it into your eyeshadow, and pretty much the same thing that I did with the spike pencil, you just continue to just keep going like this. And all you're doing is just coloring it in. That's all you're doing, just coloring in your shadow. Your eyebrow with the particular shadow, and that's it. And that'll be like something very simple very neutral and basic. If you want to get more into putting blush on, you can put blush on in the morning. But like I said, I just have a clean face, put a little shadow on, do my eyebrows, and I'm good to go. And that's it, ladies. And use that pamphlet to help you out with the how to do the brushes, which brushes to use, well, which product that you're using. Like if you're going to do a shader brush, you use it for this. Your foundation brush. Also with the foundation brush, you can use, like I said, you can use this with a regular foundation brush to do, where is it? It's over here. It's a bigger brush. It's a brush like this. Sorry. It's a brush like this, but it's bigger. And that's to put on your liquid foundation. And that's what a lot of ladies use for that. Some ladies use a brush to put, to put their liquid foundation on. It all depends if that's what you want to do. But for the majority of ladies, they'll use the bigger one, or if you're using a powder, you can use this, which is a foundation brush as well. But I use this for a whole lot of different things, even to contour. When I'm contouring, if I don't feel like using like the angled brush to contour, I would just pinch the sides of this here, so it could make it stiff and give me just to go right here in the middle of your cheekbone. When you start doing your foundation, when you start doing your, because you look at where her cheekbone is, she has a dimension right in this area. And when you want to contour, you'll start right here in that cheek, right above her cheek, below her cheekbone. And then you'll start contouring right in this area here. And you'll use a darker color. And some people use a cream contour. This is when you get a little bit more advanced. This is more for the pro makeup artist, when you get into all the cream contouring and all that stuff. But I started out with doing contouring with a palette by Anastasia. That's Anastasia as well. But this is just the powder. And this is how you start off with to do your, and you start off with the darker colors, and you put the more of the darker colors right below your cheekbone. And then you'll start with a lighter color right underneath where you put the darker color, because that's what'll give it that dimension. Like it'll look like your nose, you know how they make your nose look like it's smaller than what it is, it look chiseled and all of that stuff. That's more advanced, because you can do all of that. So one girl told me, she said, I want a nose job. Give me the nose job. I was like, okay. But yeah, because it did look like she got a nose job. I mean, the way I, contoured it and everything. And then when you're doing your nose with contouring, well, when she was talking about the nose job part, you just take the shadow and you just go right along the bridge of your nose, right on the side of it, on the other side. In the middle of this area, you want to kind of keep it, if some people want to keep it clear, some people may want to use the yellow part of it, of the contouring. It's called banana. And they'll put it right up in here, because that's another highlight, just to highlight that area. And then you kind of, if you want, you can go over it. Someone asked me the other day, well, why do you go over or use the contour and go on top of your nose? I said, because to me what it does is it makes your nose more pointier. Because it's all in the shades, the shades of your face and how your face is made, the muscles and all of that stuff, the bone structure. It's all into how that is shaped, and then that's how you can do it. And that's what makes the nose look smaller. Because if you have a wider nose, it's just certain angles that you have to go to give it, to make it to be smaller. And that's what it'll give it. That's where the contouring and all that stuff come in at. So, all right, ladies, that's it. If you have any questions, just let me know. Like I said, this is just the basic makeup. I can't get too much in depth with everything, because we'll be all day. I can talk about makeup all day, but that's just the basic, like I say, what I normally would do, in the morning.
The makeup down to your neck.
Yes, you're supposed to bring the makeup all the way down to your neck.
To where?
So maybe to right up in this area. Not too much, because you don't want it to get on your clothes. That's another thing too. It'll get on your clothes. But always when you start off here, you want to bring it down to at least maybe right up in this area here. Yep, just a little bit. And don't make it so thick. It could be a very thin layer. Like, normally when you put your makeup on, you may go like 3 or 4 times, with putting on the powder. But then when you get down to here, just put just a thin layer underneath there. Mm-hmm. Any questions?
Can we see you walk the runway?
Oh, sure, yeah. I'll do that. Okay. Stay there, I want to wipe your face off. So. All right, give me some runway music. Give me. And you never walk on beat. When you're doing a runway walk, you never walk on beat. Because you never know what the beat is going to be, and then you'll look crazy. So normally when I start off, I always start off with my teeth. You just keep straight. You always start off. And
thought it would be easy, something like a shopping spree. Yeah.